Yeah. Are you fired up yet? Has this begun to get under your skin just a little? If so, that's great. So let's not waste any time. Let's get right back into it. Somebody has to know what I'm talking about. When I talk about how in September 2008, the Federal Reserve, its line of credit, Assured, then bought the world's largest insurance company, AIG, for $85 billion for an 80% stake. AIG was the largest seller of CDS, but now that it was in the position of having to pay out from collateral it did not have, it was teetering on the edge of bankruptcy. Now, hold on. Wait a minute. See, here it is. In October 2008, the entire country of Iceland went bankrupt, having bought American worthless subprime mortgages as investments. European banks began exploding, all wanting to cash in concurrently on their inflated U.S. stocks to pay off the low interest rate debts before rates climb higher. The year before, the signs had been evident when the largest U.S. mortgage lender countrywide fell. Soon after, the largest lender in the UK, Northern Rock, went under. London, long having copied Wall Street, creative financing. Japan and Korea's auto manufacturing nosedived by 37%. Global economies contracting. Pakistan was on the edge of collapse too, with real reserves at $3 billion, enough to only buy a month's supply of food and oil, and attempting to stall payments to Saudi Arabia for 100,000 barrels of oil per day it provides to the country under President Musharraf, who left office in the nick of time. Pakistan's currency lost 25% its value, its inflation running at 25%. Now, meanwhile, energy costs had soared, with oil reaching a peak of almost $150 per barrel in the summer. The costs were immediately passed on to the already spent homeowner in rising heating and fuel, transport, and manufacturing costs. Yet 30% of cost of a barrel of oil was based upon Wall Street speculators, climbing to 60% as a speculative fear factor during the summer months. And as soon as the financial crisis hit, suddenly oil prices slid down, slicing oil costs to 61% from $147 in June, and proving that the 60% speculation factor was far more accurate. This sudden decline also revealed OPEC's lack of control over spiraling prices during the past few years, almost lie directly upon the shoulders of Saudi Arabia alone. When OPEC in September 2008 sought to maintain higher prices by cutting production, it was Saudi Arabia who voted against such a move at the expense of its own revenue. Yo, somebody has to know what I'm talking about when I talk about how Europe then decided that no more would it be ruined by the excess of America. Oh, Europe may have had enough of being dictated to by the U.S., who refused to compromise on loans lent to their own broken nations after World War II. So on October 13, 2008, the once divided EU nations unilaterally agreed to an emergency rescue plan totaling $2.3 trillion. It was more than 3 times greater than the U.S. package in payment for a catastrophe America alone had created. Somebody has to know what I'm talking about. When I talk about by mid-October 2008, the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P 500 had increased all the gains they made over the previous decade. Greenspan's pyramid scheme of easy money from nothing resulted in a massive overtaxation of credit, inflated housing prices, and incredible stock valuations achieved because investors would never withdraw their money all at once. But now it was crashing at breakneck speed and no solution in sight. President Bush said that the people shouldn't worry because America is the most attractive destination for investors around the globe. Please, 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 please take a second to let this all sink in, because I need you to know what I'm talking about. And with that, I digress. I say thank you for your time and attention. I love you all in Yeshua. Continue blessings. The Take a Stand movement.